Welcome to Nashville Superspeedway for the second ever Cup Series race here. I'm Alex Hayden to bring you all the action of the Ally 400. The low banked corners here are what set this track apart from other D-shaped ovals. Grip levels challenge drivers all race long. Cars are gridded and the drivers and teams are at the ready. Let's head trackside and get those engines fired.
And all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's edition of NASCAR 22 on the channel, and we will be racing at the Nashville Superspeedway for the running of the Ally 400, and today's race is going to be an interesting one, to say the least. No practice, no qualifying coming into what is the 17th race of the season. And for today's race in specifically, we mark just 10 races to go in the regular season. We have a race for the regular season championship. We have a tight playoff battle spot up for grabs as well on points. As of right now, not everybody that is locked in with one win is necessarily locked in. We could still get more than 16 different winners. We have 8 different winners so far through 16 races, although we've had a lot of repeat winners in recent races. As far as that regular season championship battle, our driver Kevin Harvick comes in with 583 points total on the year. That is most of any driver, but that lead was up over 50 points going into Sonoma. We won the first stage, but then ended up not finishing so hot at the end. We had a glitch, which we know of now, that is at every road course, where if you pit under green flag conditions, your car becomes completely unstable, your rear tires start to burn off the car, therefore you are running very slow lap times. In fact, I was 9 seconds off of my original pace that I was running, which was obviously quickest to qualify on the pole and to win the opening stage. So we need to not have that happen going forward, but for today, because we're on an oval, we're going to worry about just trying to stay on the lead lap as much as possible. Intermediate track's probably where I lack the most at. This is not going to be an easy track for myself today, and hopefully we can at least stay on the lead lap. Now, on the NASCAR 21 side of things, Nashville was probably the hardest track as far as the AI being fast. So I do have it on champion difficulty tonight, and I still think I might be well off the pace there. I had it on champion difficulty on the NASCAR 21 side of things, and we were still like a second off the pace. So I don't want to lower the difficulty any more than that, but I have a bad feeling we're not going to be that quick. I did not qualify for this one for that reason, because I didn't want to take the risk of qualifying a little bit up ahead and getting ran over by anybody. So we will be starting last. There are quite a few decently good drivers that are starting in the back half of the field, like Kyle Larson. Austin Dillon's above the playoff cutoff line right now as well. They're both starting outside the top 30. Christopher Bell, who has 2 wins on the year, back in 29th. Eric Almirola, who's on the bubble, coming in, started 26 as well. So Chase Elliott in the back half of the field. Also, Joey Logano, defending real-life champ of last year, outside the top 20. So there are definitely some good cars at the back. Kurt Busch will be on the pole. Austin Cindric will be on the outside of the front row. Harrison Burton in row 2 with Kyle Busch on the outside. Busch comes in just 3 points ahead of Eric Almirola for that last spot on points as of right now. But again, still 10 races to go. In row 3, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney will line up. Blaney is the highest driver in on points as of right now, so he is the number 9 seed if the playoffs were to start today. But Denny Hamlin, despite not having very good consistency, although he's had better consistency in recent races, he is still below the cutoff line on Kyle Busch by 17 points coming into today's race, so we'll watch for him as well. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Chase Briscoe will line up in row number 4, both well outside the cutoff line of points. Alex Bowman and William Byron will round out the top 10. Byron does have 1 win on the year. Bowman does not, but Bowman, he has been very consistent. He's got 2 top 5s in the last 2 races, so look out for Bowman to potentially have a good day today. Harvick has a 25-point lead over William Byron again. I mentioned that lead was over 50 points going into the last race at Sonoma. It is now down to 25, and we have just a 47-point lead over Martin Truex Jr., who was 3rd in points as well. So Truex is kind of coming out of nowhere here late in the season. I think he has had like 3 or 4 straight top 10s as well, so he's had a lot of consistency as of late. we'll get the rest of this stream underway with the race. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into tonight's full race live stream realistic commentary coverage. And hopefully you guys all had a Merry Christmas yesterday. We did not stream yesterday, but we are back at it once again tonight. Patrick Chatterley, Joshua Rumsey, Billy Kramer, R6, and others, welcome into the stream. And let's go racing at Nashville. 400 miles, 300 laps around this roughly 1 1/3 mile oval. Harvick checking up big time into turns 1 and 2. Not sure exactly what the AI is going to do here. A little bit of a checkup off the exit of turn 2. He's on the inside of Gralla, but he's just going to stay behind these guys for these first couple corners. Not sure if he's going to really have the pace that these guys have anyway. But better safe than sorry, especially if we see any wrecks. 1 lap in the books, though. Caution free there. 90 laps in the opening stage of tonight's race. Overcast sky, 70 degrees, the temperature and the climate for today's race at Nashville. Somewhat cooler day, despite the fact that this race takes place in June in Tennessee, but I wanted as much grip as I could possibly get, so that's why I went with that. I do have stability on as well. Oh, Gralla gets loose off turn 4. He might have made contact with Greg Biffle. That allows Harvick to make the pass on the 50, and now to the inside of the 44 of Biffle into turn 1. Alright, so some passes being made here for Kevin Harvick. Just gotta hope a caution doesn't come out when you're this far back in the field. He's making some passes down on the inside of the racetrack. Better what I thought we were gonna be able to do early in the going as Harvick slides up, has to lift off of turn 4. That's going to allow Greg Biffle to get by him. Big block on Gralla in the center of the tri-oval. Downshifting that time. Trying to grab a gear and go, and Harvick going to try to get to the outside of Biffle off the exit of turn 2, and he does. Wade Selensky, welcome into the stream also. Harvick really tight off of turn 4. Had to lift again, and Biffle gets around him in that same corner. See if Harvick can maybe get around the Biff again this time. He's going to try the outside again. Biffle goes to the bottom in the middle of the corner. Stacking and jacking up big time. Middle of the pack up there. Likely going to be a one-stop stage if I had to guess. We'll see if anybody tries to make it in 2. Like maybe Kevin Harvick. He went on strategy in the Coke 600 and it probably would have worked out for him if that caution didn't come out with about 5 laps to go. Helped him win a stage and probably would have won the race. It's the price you pay of short pitting though. See if that caution does come out. Really good off the exit of turn 2 though. Powers to the inside of Biffle. Anytime I have stability on an intermediate track, though, the car gets super, super tight late in the run. Except for the flatter tracks, Gateway it wasn't bad, so hopefully Nashville isn't going to be that bad either. I'm hoping. They couldn't get around Gralla that time either. Dive underneath the 50, really, 55 rather. That's J.J. Yaley. Washed him up out of the groove. Luckily, no accident took place there, because that's the last thing Kevin Harvick needs at the back of the pack is to risk going a lap down with that. Drives it in really deep into 3 and 4. He knows he's tight off the exit of the corner. He's lifting. Just barely kept it off of Timmy Hill in the 66 at the back of the pack. So Harvick's making passes, but he doesn't really seem all that quick either. I don't think we have top 20 speed at this rate in the early going as Hill blocks Harvick. Getting into turn 1. Michael Turner, welcome into the stream also. The 3 straight nights of NASCAR 22 on the channel. Our next 4 video game streams are all going to be NASCAR 22 as well. Big run on the front stretch. Harvick got off turn 4 pretty well that time. Didn't get extremely tight. Just grips better off of turn 2. Passes 2 cars that time, both Cole Custer and Josh Bilicki through turns 1 and 2. Tyler Reddick at the back of the pack. I've noticed Reddick's been slumping. He was like 6th in points very early in the year, but he's been running outside the top 20 on a consistent basis. And now he's in danger of having potentially another, at least bad start to this race today. What is that going to do for him? Kurt Busch and Alex Bowman have both caught him in points in recent races. He's still 13th. Has about 50 points over Denny Hamlin. A little less than that, obviously, over Almirola, who's the first driver below the cutoff line. So I'll have to keep an eye on Tyler Reddick if he can't get a win. Big slide off turn 4. Contact with Ty Dillon. Harvick got into him there. Dillon got sideways, but did a good job keeping it off the outside wall and obviously kept from wrecking. Harvick will try to get to the outside of the 42 now. He's been able to pass a couple cars on the outside in 1 and 2. Just a little too tight in 3 and 4. He leaves the bottom open that time, trying to run the top. Colton Thompson, thanks for tuning in. Ty Dillon just got into the 4. Kevin Harvick, and Harvick almost got up into the wall as a result. Got a wheel, awesome. Wonder how much better or worse the game might be with a wheel. Probably goes to a track-by-track basis. I'm sure some tracks are probably worse with it, some tracks are better. I think with stability help on the wheel would probably help. But with no stability, it'd probably be even harder. Reddick trying to block Harvick all the way through the middle to the exit of the corner. Harvick finally dive bombs to the inside of him. On the front stretch, takes a deep dive under the 51 now of Cody Ware, and he's going to slide clear. Reddick now to the inside of Ware as well through turns 1 and 2. Reddick back to 32nd place. Harvick pulling out of line early, trying to slide around the 78 of BJ McLeod. And clear. Barely off turn 4. He still had to lift off the exit of the corner. Reddick gets by the 78 who checked up behind Harvick who checked up. Actually, racing oriented that I got for Christmas this year, I got a scanner. I don't know if it is the same one that they have at the track or not. I never really pay attention to what they have, mainly because I've never rented scanners at the racetrack. So I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'll try to find a way to get it to work. I have NASCAR radio on my phone, so I'm sure I'll find a way to get it to work. Oh boy, contact there with AJ. He's trying to make a dive underneath Brad Keselowski while Harvick wanted to get inside the 16. Didn't realize that Allmendinger had that big of a run on the 6. And Allmendinger still got by Keselowski even with that little bit of contact to his rear bumper going into the corner. And because there was no practice, I have no clue how easy or hard it may be to get to pit road. There is an access road at Nashville. It's definitely going to come into play. Kevin Harvick making passes, though. Slowly but surely getting through this field. It's underneath Eric Jones. That was a massive dive. He just turned Daniel Suarez. And that's going to bring out a caution. And Harvick's going to have to go to the tail end of the field because of the yellow. I think because it happened while Harvick was in 1 and 2, I'm going to assume that he's not going to be a lap down here. But we do have our first caution in this race. I'm not going to pit here to go to the rear of the field. I'm just going to back out of the gas in 1 and 2 because I don't want to take a risk of going a lap down. But I will pay the price there for causing that accident. He just overdrove 1 and 2, drove right through Daniel Suarez. Luckily, Suarez didn't hit anything when he spun. He doesn't have any real damage. So Harvick going to drop backwards here, hoping everybody gets around him to the inside, and they do. So bummer for Kevin Harvick. He's making headway there in the early going until that caution came out. But all of his own doing as he just drove right through Daniel Suarez. Luckily, Suarez didn't slide all the way up the track. It was kind of weird that he didn't. He just kind of came to a stop. Very quickly at that. Santiago Kid, thanks for tuning in. So that was our first caution of the race today. But I'm going to assume that Harvick and everybody else is on the lead lap. It's possible that they're a lap down, but we're not entirely sure either. Harvick going down to the apron in the tri-oval, 3 wide there, trying to make some passes. Trying to get these spots back. He's got to make sure that he doesn't overdrive it too much and cause that same thing to happen again, because then he's just going to have to go right back to the tail end of the field again. A little slide clear of Smithley. Still has to lift off the exit of turn 4. Contact with BJ McLeod. You can see how many spots Suarez lost because of that spin. He was nearly in the top 20. Now he's outside the top 30. His tire's probably really old. Now he's blocking Harvick on the back straightaway as the 4 gets underneath him again. Cody Ware blocks the 99. He goes backwards. Cody Ware sandwiches himself in the middle. Did not give Kevin Harvick any room. So Harvick got stuck right behind Cole Custer as well. My gosh. I thought he was going to blow a tire because of that. Suarez back to the bottom. He does get around Harvick, though, who got stacked up on the outside behind Custer. Big run off turn 4. He didn't get very tight that time. Right up in front of Brad Keselowski. Justin Haley on the outside, though, right in front of Kevin Harvick. So Harvick's car getting even tighter on the top. Keselowski will clear Harvick off turn 4. Man, right into the back of Chris Buescher. Still got a good run off turn 2, despite being bogged down in the center of the corner like that. Haven't seen William Byron, and he did qualify inside the top 10. I have a bad feeling he's still there, and I say bad feeling because Kevin Harvick is the points leader. 25 ahead of Byron. Gets into Tyler Reddick. Luckily, Reddick didn't go around after the contact. That was almost a similar spot in the same corner that Suarez got tagged by the 4. Big dive. It's a lot easier to make those dives work in this game because you're able to downshift and it kind of catches your car a little bit. If you do it right. I mean, there's some tracks you can't, you know, downshift necessarily, like on the higher banked intermediates like a Vegas or, you know, probably even Texas. Well, Texas you might be able to in 1 and 2. That'll be interesting. We haven't raced there yet. But Kansas, so you can't really do it there either. Oh, great corner by Harvick. Timed the entry good enough. He backed it up that he was able to get into the gas. He knows he's too tight in 3 and 4, so that move probably wouldn't work on this end of the track. But he tried it in 1 and 2 there, got around 3 cars, and now gets to the inside of Almirola in a battle for 18th. He'll take the dive into 1 and 2 this time. He's close enough to him. Harvick making up a lot of time in turns 1 and 2 right now. Brandon Wilson, thanks for tuning in. I think Harvick's car is just getting better and better on the longer run as well. It did not seem like he was very quick very early in the race, but he is now up inside the top 15 for the first time. Not even halfway through stage 1. As he just gets to the inside of Bubba Wallace, takes a peek underneath Kyle Larson. Byron just outside the top 10. You can see the leaders. They're a little over a full straightaway ahead of Harvick yet, but if Harvick is on the lead lap, they have a shot. Larson got off turn 2 pretty well. He gets to the inside of William Byron. And he'll make the pass on the 24 car. Harvick to the inside of Byron himself on the front stretch. The top 2 in points. Battle, but not much of a battle there as Harvick clears him. Harvick going to try to slide up in front of Logano, and he does, and just gets to the outside of the 22s. He cleared the 5. Big run. Now he's going to look to the bottom as he clears Logano, goes for Hamlin. And Harvick now has cracked the top 10 for the first time today. Hamlin had to get up out of the throttle. Harvick does too as he's almost in the wall off turn 4. Now has to block. Down to the apron right now, trying to take a shortcut. As he stays in front of Logano and Hamlin. He's got back in the gas a little too quickly there. Billy Cardroid, thanks for tuning in also. Who's up at the front? Kurt Busch qualified on the pole, so he could potentially still be in the lead. Aldernate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Again, everybody's going to pit once in stage 1. From what it appears. Earl Arnold Jr., thanks for tuning in also. With a big dive in 3 and 4, trying to get by the 21 of Harrison Burton. Slides up the track clear off turn 4. Did not think Kevin Harvick was going to have a shot to get inside the top 10 at stage 1, let alone the first half of stage 1. Car's definitely getting tight on the longer run, but it's not as bad as probably what other cars are having to deal with, especially those in traffic. We haven't seen the 4 car with clean air in front of him yet, so we don't know how much better his car could potentially be there. I'd say Kevin Harvick has potential race-winning speed, again, on the longer run specifically in this race tonight. Notice as soon as he got inside the top 10 how much harder it is to try to catch him past these other cars in front of him. Definitely dealing with some tight conditions though in 3 and 4. Not sure I want to make a wedge adjustment there just because I don't know want to do that, risking the car being too loose. Knowing this game. A lot better through 3 and 4 that time. Pulling Cindric after passing him in turns 1 and 2. A little wide that time on that middle to upper groove. Kind of diamond the corner off because by the time he got to the exit of turn 2, he was able to get the car to turn down towards the bottom a little bit. Harvick's pushing really hard right now. Does it again in turns 3 and 4. Kind of runs the middle lane into the corner. Trying to get it to dive down towards the bottom by the exit. So he can get a decent drive off. Stay away from that wall as much as possible, knowing his car is tight. Right, a little less than a quarter tank of gas left. This point in the run. As he closes on Christopher Bell in the 20. He'll look to the inside of Bell into turn 3. Takes a big dive, a little too deep of a dive. Has to lift quite a bit more than what he was originally wanting to. Had to lift off the exit of turn 4 even still. Really flatlined the corner, couldn't hold it. You saw he lost a lot of time. Really charging the entry. Slides up. Trying to back it up in the middle. Still get the car to turn down in the center. Almost kind of like a Darlington style corner is kind of how Harvick's driving it right now. Just kind of sail it off. Runs up towards the wall, then pitch it down in the middle to try to get a good angle off the exit of the corner. The line seems to be working, at least when he hits his marks well enough to be able to try to get it to work. He's underneath Bell into turn 1. Downshifts a lot earlier that time because he wasn't going to be able to slide all the way up to the wall with Ryan Blaney on his outside. Trying to get the drive. Oh, Bell got loose off turn 2. Almost tags the fence. Meanwhile, Harvick clears Blaney for 6th. Just gotta hope we get through pit stops without a caution coming out. That will be the big thing. It was kind of hit or miss with Charlotte. Sometimes we were getting cautions in the middle of green flag stops, sometimes we weren't. They'll slowly closing back in on the 12 car, Brian Blaney. You can see the race leader, whoever that is. I'm assuming it's still Kurt Busch, as he's up ahead of the field yet. And Harvick definitely closing on Chase Elliott. Going to try to diamond the corner off this time. Couldn't get it to turn all the way down. He kind of rode the middle to upper groove all the way through the corner that time. As he got closer behind the 9, was put in the dirty air. He's got a big run on Chase Elliott. He's going to drive it in really deep. Trying to get the car to stick. Elliott to the outside. Kevin Harvick is clear off turn 4, and he's up to 5th. And inside the top 5 for the first time today. Just shy of lap 50. Kevin Harvick has gone from last to 5th. Truex taking a dive. Trying to get by his teammate Kyle Busch for 2nd. Can't do it. A win for Busch would be absolutely enormous considering where he is in points right now to lock himself up into the playoffs. With still 9 races to go in the regular season after this. And Truex, who just got his first win of the year just a couple races ago, trying to quickly go for win number 2. Harvick on the outside through 3 and 4 all the way through the corner that time. Harvick just does not want a short pit. It'll give him a big advantage, but I just don't trust it's going to stay green. Got to stay out as long as possible for that reason. Truex is definitely seeming like he is faster than the 18 car right now, but he cannot get around him. Harvick pretty good through 3 and 4, and he's got a big run on Ross Chastain on the front stretch. He'll go for 4th place into turn 1 as he's on the inside of the 1 car. Truex with a dive underneath the 18. Will he get there? Harvick slides up the track as he got tight behind the 2 cars side by side in front of him. Truex gets loose up the exit of the corner, and they're 3 wide. Big block by Harvick. He wanted to make sure he was going to be clear of Chastain. He did not want to be 3 wide middle going into turn 3. Slides up and has to fall in line behind Busch, who gets loose again off the exit of the corner. Kyle Busch is struggling with that race car right now as Truex is driving away from him. Harvick stays in front of the 1 of Chastain. Big dive getting into turns 1 and 2 as he gets underneath the 18. Busch again slides wide, and that's going to allow Harvick to clear off the exit of turn 2 for 3rd. Splitting up a couple of the Toyotas at least. Still 2 more in front of him. Harvick will stay out of the pits this time by, but he'll likely be pitting the following time by. I don't know that he's going to be able to go much further on fuel. You don't want to risk running now. You saw what happened at Sonoma when I ran out. Had to sit in our pit box the rest of the race, even though I was on pit road when I ran out. About 2 seconds off the race lead still. We'll see if the leaders are going to pit this time. They do not. Harvick is coming in, and he's going to use that excess road on his way into the pits. I would imagine 45 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. 55 maybe actually is the limit. First pit box on pit road for Harvick means he started last today without qualifying. 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments. First stop of the day for the 4. Mark Mars, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everybody watching right now. Post-Christmas Day. Hopefully you guys had a Merry Christmas. Kurt Busch just pitted. Yeah, he's on pit road right now. So Harvick was the first to pit. Busch pits the next lap after him. It's going to be interesting to see where the 45 is going to cycle versus the 2. Make sure not to spin on that excess road trying to get up to speed if you're Kevin Harvick. Down on the bottom of the track right now. Going to have to watch anybody potentially pitting as well as he's down on the bottom of the track. I don't think they're going to use the excess road, and they do not, so... Oh, Bubba Wallace got sideways off turn 4 and about looped it around. Yeah, so Harvick on much fresher tires is going to have to be very careful. He's going to go to the outside, 3 wide! Very close to making contact with Byron because the 48 of Bowman, who was on the bottom of that 3 wide mess, slid up almost into the 24s. He about got sandwiched. Close call there. Luckily, Harvick had fresher tires. He was able to get around him fairly quick. I'm not sure if Harvick cycled ahead of Kurt Busch or not. He pitted 1 lap before him, but he was about 2 seconds behind him. I'm not sure who had a faster stop itself as well. Harvick just hoping it stays green. Oh, your mom's birthday is today. Awesome. She get double the gifts for Christmas then? Being so close. A lot of clean air in front of Harvick now. Get some of this time back. Blaney and Busch down on that access road right now. Busch going to come across the track as he's getting up to speed. Harvick has cleared him into 3. Bowman is leading, but he hasn't pit yet. Harvick's going to cycle ahead of a lot of cars right now on the front stretch. Kurt Busch still scored in front of Harvick. So Harvick will likely be in 2nd place. It's amazing how quick that 45's pit stop was. Harvick was in 3rd when he pitted, but he was 2 seconds off the lead. He's about 4 to 5 seconds behind Kurt Busch. Busch's stop was a couple seconds quicker than Harvick. I mean, even compared to the rest of the cars that we pitted around, I mean, they're right with us still. Kurt's going to cycle into lap traffic, which is going to make things even interesting as well. Chase Elliott had a slow stop. He falls back quite a bit. Busch evades the 9. Elliott, I completely overdrove turn 3. So Harvick's in second right now. Kurt Busch has dominated the start of the race from the pole. It's going to be tough to catch him here 32 laps to go. He's definitely the class of the field today. I think Harvick's got a good car, but Kurt's got a great car. You know Harvick's faster on the longer run as well. Have to see how that works out for him. Not going to be able to pass Cody Ware that time through turns 3 and 4 either. Harvick gets underneath him and clears Ware before getting into turn 3. Which is good because he's able to arc the corner off the way he wanted to. And keeps the 51 behind him yet on the front stretch. Harvick definitely shifting a lot deeper into the corner on the early going of the run. The car just sticks. It's almost like I don't have to try to make the corner necessarily. Or later in the run, I'm short shifting to try to make it into the turn while braking late still. You just don't have to do that right now at this point in the run. Chase Elliott has fallen well back. I think he's got a couple of wins. In fact, he just won at Sonoma, getting his second win of the year. Because I used the access road, Kurt Busch didn't. Well, we still cycled ahead of Truex, though. And Truex was in front of us when we pitted. I don't even know where Truex is at. I think he just had a slow stop because Kyle Busch cycled ahead of him as well. Yeah, I'll try not using the access road next time. Busch has to be pulling away from Harvick right now. He was about 4 or 5 seconds ahead. I think he's just getting through the lap cars a lot quicker than Kevin is. He needs a win. Chase Elliott gets around Kyle Busch in the 18. I'm trying to get by Kevin Harvick next. Elliott has speed. He just had a really slow stop. I thought it was kind of odd that he had cycled out of the pits with the cars he did. And now he started deep in the field, but he didn't start that deep in the field. He started about 22nd. And he seemed to have gotten really tight behind Kevin Harvick that time. Almirola fell back. He was in the top 20 when he pitted. Now he's outside the top 30 as well. That's big because Kyle Busch is in third. He was only 3 points ahead of Almirola for that last playoff spot on points coming into the race. Almirola is not going to get any stage points in stage 1, being a lap down right now, where Busch is looking to get quite a few. It's almost a second behind Harvick now, but if he can hang on to third, that's 8 points. That would put him 11 above the 10 car. He was 17 rather ahead of Hamlin. And Hamlin's at least behind him. I'm not sure if he's in position to get any stage points or not. But definitely not as many as Busch as of right now. Maybe hoping Kurt Busch gets caught in lap traffic. That could be the only real hope that Kevin Harvick has of trying to win the stage. Hugs the bottom all the way around. Really low exit to turn 2 as well. Trying to get by the 38 of Gillen. Not going to be able to do it. Chase Elliott's coming. Harvick with a block. He knows if Elliott gets underneath him, that might open up the door for Busch to make a pass. Harvick going to the outside, though, trying to get a run on Gillen in the 38. He's got a run on the back straightaway. You can see the speed difference. He hopped back into line. He's going to take that speed difference and try to take advantage of it. Down onto the bottom into 3 and 4. He's not going to make the pass as he washes back up in line behind him, and here comes Chase again. Almirola's gotten by the 18 of Busch as well. So there's 2 lap cars between the second and third place cars. And at least 5 between first and second. Well, he got to the bottom but couldn't get the drive off. Harvick did up on the outside. Harvick going to try this middle to upper groove again. Elliott side drafts the 4, door to door, off the exit of the corner. Elliott runs into the side of Harvick. That slowed the 4 up. Had to lift to keep it off the wall after getting slammed in the middle of the front stretch. And Elliott going to clear Kevin Harvick. Elliott pulling out of line on the 38. Big dive by Harvick. He missed the corner. He's in the wall. And that's going to allow Kyle Busch to make a pass for second. Blaney up to 4th, and he's closing fast. I mean, winning the race does matter the most, but we are battling for a regular season championship at the same time. We need all the points we can get, especially knowing that we have 3 road courses coming up, and we know that road course glitch is going to happen. I mean, that cost us over 20 points at Sonoma versus Byron, who ended up with a top 10. Harvick gets back around Busch for second through 3 and 4. Just too tight in traffic. Now, I'm not going to pit during the stage breaks. I'm going to try to race this as fair as I can today. Now, I know taking advantage of it is an okay thing, of pitting during the stages. I don't think it's a bad thing when you consider the fact that this game kind of screws me in a lot of ways. I mean, look at Sonoma for Exhibit A. We had that race pretty much won from the start. I just had to not make a mistake, and I didn't make a mistake, but it was the tires that were burning off the car before I made a mistake. When I made a green flag stop. Cost me any sort of stage points in stage 2. And then ended up finishing, well, I ended up DNFing. But I didn't really have any shot of finishing very good either before that. We were trying to come back, which we had the speed to do so when we were able to pit during the stage break, because then the glitch went away. But I know they probably would have came back if I was able to make a green flag stop. That's why I was trying to push it as far as I did on fuel. Hoping we'd get a caution, because we had a caution for incident on lap 1 in that race, but we didn't have another caution for incident even though we saw some other spins in the stage. Harvick lifted off turn 4, keeping Yaley in front of him. Probably didn't have to do that to keep it off of him, but did it just in case. Try not to push here. He's got 13 laps to go in the stage. There's no real shot he's going to end up catching Kurt Busch. corner. He'll pass Yaley cleanly through 3 and 4. Harvick about a second and a half ahead of Kyle Busch. Honestly, in clean air, this car handles really well. Even with their tires almost 30 laps old. Sailed it off into 1 and 2. When I'm tucked in line behind somebody, though, it gets very hard to try to turn the car in the middle of the corner. And just to keep it in the same line I had it on entry. Just hits a wall. Ten laps to go, stage 1. Just one caution in this race up to this point. The Ally 400 at the Nashville Superspeedway. Pretty good race so far, I do have to say. We've had some decent racing over the last few races on NASCAR 22. Hopefully that continues. Go to Road America tomorrow night on the channel, and then Atlanta on Wednesday night. Atlanta, of course, being a super speedway on this game. This named a super speedway, but this is not a super speedway by any means. Oh, Harvick right into the back of the 50 of Gralla. That did a number to the front bumper of the 4 car. Had a big run on him getting into the corner. I did not think that that was possible, though. Now he's in the wall. Off of turn 4. Second time Harvick's gotten into the wall today. Both times are right off the exit of turn. Actually, the first time was on entry into 3. The car just didn't turn. Overdrove it. That was the first time he scraped it off the exit. He's been doing a good job getting out of the gas before it gets to that point, but didn't that time. I don't think that damage is going to affect us any, though. I've noticed only at very few tracks where you actually pick up damage does it affect the speed in the race car. It doesn't feel like it's affecting it here because we're still passing those lap cars about as fast as we were before that. Lola slides up in front of Garrett Smithley. Harvick with a big run off turn 4. Gets to the inside of the 15. Goes all the way down to the apron. Charges hard. He wanted to go into that middle groove because he was expecting the 10 to get to the bottom. Felt he wasn't going to be as tight running the top. Still was pretty tight. Kurt Busch only a few seconds ahead of Harvick. Problem is we only have 4 laps to go. Harvick couldn't clear the 10 off turn 4. Has to stay to his inside. Kurt Busch definitely fading over the course of this long run, though. Almirola trying to get a crossover on Harvick. Got into him off the exit of turn 2. That's going to slow the 4 car up a little more again as well. Harvick 3 seconds behind Kurt Busch. They'll be coming to 3 laps to go in the stage. Kurt might not be pushing quite as hard, though, knowing he pretty much has the stage 1. He's not going to be catching any more lap cars in front of him. Still 3-second lead at the line. Only got to within sight of Kurt Busch. Don't think Brad Keselowski or Chase Elliott are going to catch him here before the end of the stage. Elliott might have the speed to do so. I don't think Keselowski does, though. Elliott's got to get around the 6. There's no free pass given in this game. So they have to actually unlap themselves here, or they will be stuck a lap down to the end of this first stage. Elliott will get around Kurt Busch through turns 3 and 4 for 23rd. So now he's the first car lap down. Can he catch Kurt Busch, who's still a few car lengths ahead of him? Harvick into the wall off turn 4. All tires up on that 4 car on the right side. Final lap of stage 1 at the line. Third time Harvick's gotten into the wall in this stage, all on that end of the track. And Elliott's still about 3 to 4 car lengths behind Busch off the exit of turn 2. He's probably not going to get him. Kurt's about 2 seconds ahead of Harvick. I think if we would have had another 10 laps, we probably would have caught him, but that's probably asking for a little too much. Stage 1 in the books. Kurt Busch will win the opening stage. Kevin Harvick will end up second. Not a bad start to today's race. I'll take that. I had a car on the wall off the exit of turn 4 back there. Couldn't tell who that was. But Kurt Busch wins stage 1. Kevin Harvick second. Kyle Busch in third. Ryan Blaney fourth. Christopher Bell rounds out the top 5. I think Bell's got a fast car because he started outside the top 30 and he's already up to 5th. Joey Logano started outside the top 20. He's up to 6th place. Ross Chastain 7th. Alex Bowman 8th. Kyle Larson started deep in the field. He finishes 9th. And William Byron gets 1 stage point, rounding out the top 10 in stage number 1. So we will, or I will take a screenshot of that. Oh, shoot. OneDrive was paused. Give me a second. Alright, there we go. That'll work. So we're not going to pit during the stage break today. We'll restart right up there with the leaders, try to maintain track position. And we'll go from there. Stage 1 in the books. Not a bad first stage tonight as far as the racing product goes. I'm in the grass for whatever reason. Not sure. That was weird. Kurt Busch will restart in the lead. Green flag in the air. 95 laps in stage 2 underway at Nashville. Harvick got a run off the exit of turn 2 as he gets to the inside of Kurt Busch. Going to side draft him a little bit as they enter turns 3 and 4. Deep dive by Kevin Harvick as he tries to take his first lead of the race. He was clear, but Kurt's going to try to cross him over. Now they're side by side for the lead off turn 4. Harvick gets a run, and Kevin Harvick will lead his first lap of the race. And it's the first lap of stage number 2 in which Harvick will lead. And he is clear off turn 2 now. Harvick lifts off turn 4. Kyle Larson's got a head of steam. Making his way through the pack. Restarted in 9th. He's closing up on the leaders. And he's already up to 4th. I wonder if he may have pitted. I'm going to guess nobody pitted considering Harvick restarted 2nd. Maybe we could have saw... Well, no, he couldn't have pit because he was in 9th, so... Wouldn't have gotten that far up through the field that quickly. Time to fix the hood. Yeah, it's not going to be fixed. Even if you repair damage in this game, it's still going to look like that, so there's no point. There's no point of fixing it. know that Kurt Busch has the fastest car in the field. I almost wonder if just because he had that track position qualifying to the pole, that's what helped him in stage 1. He certainly has a fast car. I'm looking back at Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, who have come from very deep in the field to get inside the top 10 where they did, kind of similar to Harvick. Those guys are the ones that scare me. And the fact that Kyle Larson, rather, is making some moves in this restart. Chastain just passed Kurt Busch, in fact, for second through turns 1 and 2. So now that Busch has lost the lead for the first time today, he's starting to go backwards. Alternate through the different camera angles for the second time in today's race. A little less than a quarter of a tank of gas left at this point in the run. One of the first cars to pit was this car of Kevin Harvick very early on in the day. About lap 52, 53 is when he pitted. Be interesting to see how exactly this is going to cycle this time. Final stage, if I do my math correctly, is going to be 115 laps. We'll have to pit twice in this stage with pitting early on. The entire field will. So not just us. Larson, by the way, up to third. Kurt Busch back to fourth. Christopher Bell now up to fourth place. I mean, Kurt Busch's crew had one of the fastest stops of the day, though, through that green flag pit stops cycle the first time, so maybe he could try to cycle back up through the field again. You never know. Harvick better be careful. Chastain's catching up to him big time. Chastain backs up the entry quite a bit to turns 3 and 4, and he is all over the back of Kevin Harvick off the exit of the corner. Corey Freet, thanks for tuning in. Harvick can hold his own in 1 and 2. He ran the middle to upper groove. He's going to get off turn 2 really well. A little extra speed down the back straightaway. Into turns 3 and 4, though. He knows he's not at his best there, so it's kind of dangerous to run that middle to upper groove. He does this time, though. Might have grazed the wall just a hair off of turn 4. Yeah, this car's definitely tightening up this late in the run for sure. BG Clips, thanks for tuning in. Oh, Chastain is coming after Kevin Harvick. Might have gotten into the back of the 4 just a bit in the middle of 3 and 4 that time, but Harvick holds on to his race car well enough. Hangs on to the lead. Right when I downshifted, the car really wanted to push up the track that time. That was weird. Hadn't really had that before. Definitely not going to use the access road this time, just to try it. Not sure where exactly I'm going to have to brake to try to make it into the pits either. Starting to pull Chastain just a little bit off turn 2 again. Larson slowly, and I mean slowly, catching up to the 2 cars in front of him. And Bell, at probably an even quicker rate, is catching Larson for third. So tight through 3 and 4. Feathering the throttle all the way through the corner. You can hear him coming in and out of the throttle quite a bit there. That was one of my best corners through 3 and 4 since the stage started. Got off turn 4 really well that time. Haven't seen anybody pit yet. Harvick will be on his way in this time by. Trying not to get ran over from behind and also trying to get down to pit road speed, and he'll be able to do so. Harvick's in. No adjustments, 4 tires and fuel for the number 4. As he will pit and will be the first to do so in stage 2 at lap 15. From 25 to 3,000, whatever I have. 3,400 something. Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago either. It really wasn't in the grand scheme of things. A couple of years. I think it'll be the three-year Annie. Three-year anniversary this coming Speed Weeks that we started the channel. Oh man, Bubba Wallace. I don't think he had any clue Harvick was there. Or Harvick just came out of the pits. There's Hamlin in 18th. Again, he did not get stage points in stage 1. Harvick's got the freshest tires on the racetrack right now. He's going to try to help himself build a gap on these guys whenever they end up having to hit pit road. Could be at any moment here, so Harvick rides the outside through 3 and 4 just in case. Nobody in that single file line in front of him pit there. Shot that gap underneath Chase Elliott. My goodness. Squeezing around everybody. He's got to make up as much time as he can. The cars sail up just a little bit. Lenny didn't want to pit there anyway. Go to the top. Gotta hope these guys see me off the exit of the corner. That's the big thing. Like right there with Truex. Maybe didn't see Harvick till the very last second. Harvick kept it off the wall at least. Kurt Busch got a pit. Harvick lifted. He didn't know if he was high enough. Kurt only pitted 1 lap after Harvick earlier in the day, but that time he pitted about maybe 4 laps after him. 5 actually, because it's lap 20 for Harvick. He pitted at lap 15. Can make a little bit more of a difference on these tires. It'll be interesting, that's for sure. Harvick definitely going to cycle out ahead of Kurt Busch. Harvick has just gotten his lap back on Christopher Bell as well. So if we do get a caution, he's back in the lead lap. And Bell was actually able to pass Larson. I'm not sure if he was around Kurt Busch before. Well, yeah, he was around Kurt Busch because Busch was actually in 4th. So Bell in the lead. We'll see where he'll cycle through the green flag stops. With him, Larson, and Chastain, I'll stay out of the pits that time. Kevin Harvick definitely taking advantage of the clean air now. Everybody's going to have to pit one more time yet in this stage. I have to imagine they're all probably going to run it out to the very end. Harvick probably going to have to pit anywhere between 25 to 30 laps to go in the stage. I'm trying something different tonight with not pitting during the stage breaks. Means the AI do not in this game. Usually try to take advantage of it, but just want to see how this plays out. The only reason I'm risking doing that too is because we haven't really seen any cautions for incident, just one today. A lot of the ovals on this game, I feel like we get a lot of cautions, but today, not so much. Gateway, we were having some green flag racing, but we also had a mix of a decent amount of yellows at the same time. I think we had like 11 or 12 cautions in that race. This one, we've only had 2, and one of them was the stage break. And there's another one right there. That is unfortunate because now Harvick is likely a lap down because the leaders were behind him. Caution is out for just the 3rd time today. That is brutal. Right when we were talking about it. Harvick's going to have to pit to take on some fresh tires here because everybody else who has not pit before the caution will pit. So Kurt Busch going to be trapped probably 2 laps down, maybe only 1. But Kevin Harvick is definitely going to be a lap down, and the scoring glitch is going to come into play here. That was highly unfortunate. Ariel Diaz, R6R6, welcome into the stream. And everybody is on pit road right now under the caution, so Harvick going to pit again for fuel and tires. He'll be in 21st. Green flag going to be back in the air, and he will be a lap down due to the scoring glitch. Even though he unlapped himself, we're going to be a lap down because of the scoring glitch, because we were not on the same lap as them as far as the start-finish line. It's because I was going into 3 when the caution came out, so I knew that they had obviously passed it before then. Well, this has made this race a whole heck of a lot harder for Kevin Harvick. Everybody's still going to have to pit at some point in this stage. And now if you're Kevin Harvick, I think you have to consider short pitting in stage 2 because he's got to try to make up a full lap here. We almost went up into Byron. Byron up to 6. That's not good either because he was 25 points behind us. Now we did outscore him 9 stage points to 1 in the first stage. So that leads a little bit over 30 right now, about 33 point lead right now. Big run for Harvick. Got in the back of Yaley, launched him past the 50. Harvick can't clear the 22 though. He's battling him for position. Harvick on the top. Gave up a lot of bottom there. Michael McDowell slides clear just in front of him. Harvick to the outside. Raises the wall just a bit going into 1. All tires are up on the 4. Man, yeah, we just did not need that caution. I mean, this... Jeez. Now we're stuck in traffic, too. So everybody's on equal tires. We have good long run speed. We're definitely suffering the ramifications right now. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to split this run in half. Nobody's gonna be able to make it off field to the end of the stage. Going over 60 laps. We're trying to slide in front of William Byron. It's definitely clear. Great run. Byron had a checkup or something. Suarez gets by him. How many on the lead lap? Probably 20 if I had to guess. 3 wide, getting into turn 3. Hamlin just doors Kevin Harvick all the way through the corner. Harvick's already on the white line. He's stuck behind Timmy Hill, and McDowell on the outside gave Hamlin plenty of room there. Hamlin's still crowded. Harvick gets into Busch, and he turns him going into the corner. Caution's going to come out. Cannot pit during this caution for fuel or tires here because Kevin Harvick caused the accident. He accidentally turned Kurt Busch. Everybody split around and luckily nobody was involved. Green flag back in the air, and Harvick gonna have to go to the tail end of the pack here. Which wasn't really that far back, I guess. I didn't realize how many cars were in front of us. We did not lose another lap there, I don't believe. Should still be 1 lap down. So nothing has really changed much. Other than the fact that Harvick has lost a little bit more track position. Considering that nothing's organized on the restarts. It is at the beginning of the stage, but not on any of the other restarts. Big 3 wide dive by Kevin Harvick. Chris Buescher almost got back to the inside of the 4. Harvick still clears the 15. Diving underneath Cody Ware. He does not want the top side in 3 and 4. He's alright with the top in 1 and 2, but he needs to get down to the bottom into 3 and 4. Oh, that run did not work. That's not the way I wanted to get to the outside. Just barely kept it off the wall in the middle of 1 and 2. Got to run. Just cleared Gralla. Trying to beat Balicki back to the gas. That didn't work.
Car right. Clear, clear.
187, the lights come on and stay. Oh, jeez. Are you serious? Wow, hey, this race is a day race. That sucks. I'm glad you told me that. I appreciate that. But that also stinks. Lap 187. Is it? You know what? That's probably because of the rain. It's probably because the race was in the rain earlier. So it ended in the nighttime because of that. But the race itself wasn't a day-to-night race if it wouldn't have rained that day. That doesn't make any sense. This game sucks. Cars on board, thanks for tuning in. Making some dive bomb moves right now. Again, he is a lap down, and he's actually up to 20th, so I don't believe he's on the lead lap.
Got one right.
There's no way.
Clear, clear, clear. Clear,
There's no way Kevin Harvick is on the lead lap right now.
got one right. Clear, clear. Car right. Clear, clear, clear.
Gone halfway through the fuel and tire run already at this point. Had 4 cautions today, 2 for incident in stage 2. We had 2 in all of stage 1, and that was including the stage break. We know we have 1 more stage break still to come. And if you're wondering why Harvick is a lap down, it's because he had made his green flag stop in stage 2 before everybody else. Everybody will have to pit 1 more time yet in this stage. Well, Harvick already made his stop. He got his lap back, but because of the scoring glitch in this game where if the race leader crosses the start-finish line and you haven't yet, when a caution comes out, you get trapped a lap down. So that is why Harvick is a lap down, even though he was actually leading when he did make his green flag stop. He finished 2nd in stage 1. Had a good race car, but now we're having to fight and try to come from a lap down miraculously if we're going to want any sort of a shot of a good finish. But if we can come from a lap down in less than 50 laps in NASCAR 06, you just never know. That happened in our Busch race at Dover the other night. Now the difference is that game is not broken, this game is, so it makes it a little bit harder in this. And there's no free pass given. It's going to be very, very difficult. We might have to literally make 2 comeback wins back-to-back. 2 historic comeback wins on the channel and back-to-back live streams. Alright, so the 10th place car of Eric Jones, from what I'm noticing, Harvick got really tight off turn 4. Allmendinger going to get around him. Harvick going to look to try to cross him over into turns 1 and 2.
Clear all around. Stay left, stay left. Clear, 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 clear.
And he does, barely.
Clear all around.
Cleared him. So Harvick get a short pit. He at least wants to get back on the lead lap for the end of the stage. That's the big thing. Why is this car so tight right now? Harvick has not been this tight all day, but he is getting extremely tight through 3 and 4. I wonder if it might be the damage on the front of the car. It wasn't affecting me at all in stage 1. But here in stage 2, it definitely is. It's not tight in 1 and 2 at all. It's been tighter in 3 and 4 this whole race, but not as bad as it has been here in recent laps. Well, that time I got through the corner really well. It was probably just the way I was driving it. I probably just get back in the gas way too soon. Big run here by Harvick. 3 wide under Stenhouse and Allmendinger.
Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear. 1 left.
Stays clear of the 16, but the 47 gets back to his inside here briefly. Harvick clears him, though, going back into turn 3 with that run on the outside. Hooks the bottom all the way through the corner. Stenhouse 4th position, by the way, in 19th. But anyway, what I was going to say about Eric Jones in 10th, I'm almost wondering if he's the last car in the lead lap, but we actually have more cars a lap down than what I thought we did. Which I guess would make sense that not everybody was past the start-finish line, other than me. So we were making up a little bit of time on the clean air, those fresher tires at the time. So forget what I said about not pitting during the stages. We will pit during stage 2. Gonna have to try to get off strategy, especially if I short pit in this stage, because then we'll just have older tires than everybody else when we start the final stage.
Got one right. Clear, clear.
Might be put back in the same situation again. Third of a tank of fuel left for Harvick. He pitted on lap 15, so he has gone well more than half of the stage from when he pitted if he wanted to split it in half.
Clear, clear.
Gonna have to finish on the lead lap at the end of the next stage. And if he can get some stage points on top of it, bonus, but
Clear, clear, clear.
definitely have to be on the lead lap if he's gonna want any sort of a shot at least going into the final stage of the race.
Clear all around.
Get by Bubba Wallace for 18th. Late breaking into turn 1. We are halfway through this race today, so it is time for today's trivia question. I do have it ready to go, and it will be in the chat for you guys to try to vote on collectively. So I will give you guys until the end of lap 160 to answer the question. The question is, who has led, or who of the 4 drivers I have listed in a poll led more laps at Nashville Superspeedway in 2022? I will have the 4 drivers named, and I will get that poll up to you guys when I get to the back straight away. And there we go. So now you guys can answer. And my controller disconnected. Luckily, I did not wreck there. I'm so glad this game, it doesn't wreck me when that happens. Lost a spot to Bubba Wallace because of that, but could have been worse. 4 drivers named, by the way, in that poll: Mark Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin. Again, I'll give you to the end of lap 161.
Got one right. Clear, clear, clear.
I think 187 is going to be stage 3. Early going to stage 3, so I won't have to worry about that light glitch in this stage then. Appreciate you telling me, again, what lap that was on. That helps a lot, because I didn't even know if it was going to happen. It shouldn't.
Middle of 3.
Man, Busch is a lap down, too.
All clear. All clear. Got one right. Got one right. Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear.
So no adjustments coming on the Kevin Harvick pit stop.
Stay left.
Harvick on the inside of Denny Hamlin.
Clear, clear.
And Harvick's going to pit right now. So this is going to be a big-time short pit for the 4 of Kevin Harvick. But he will be on his way to pit road. And he is in. He's got that number 1 pit box. So with 32 laps to go at stage 2, Kevin Harvick is into pit. 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments. It'll be his 3rd stop. Actually, technically 4th of the day, and his 3rd in this stage. He pitted during the caution as well. Kind of forgot I pitted under the caution, so we really didn't go from lap 15 to 64, because that would have been pretty close to the edge of the fuel run. We still had a little over a quarter tank of gas left. Yeah, I mean, and this isn't a race that should end in the night anyway, so the lights shouldn't come on. We had that problem with Vegas earlier in the season as well. It cost me a potential win. So now Harvick's got the freshest tires in the field. And again, needs to finish on the lead lap in this race. He would technically be 2 laps down right now. We're looking to get a lap back before everybody pits.
Got one low.
which I'd have to imagine they're going to be able to go till about 20 to go, maybe even less than that before pitting. So I'd imagine Harvick pitting a little over at least 10 laps before everybody here. You don't want to pit too far before everybody else because then they would try to run him down before the end of the stage and he would have had even older tires than what he's already going to have. The later they pit, the better for Harvick because that's less laps they're going to have to try to catch him again when they're on much fresher tires than the 4. He's got to focus on making some clean passes. Well, number 1 pit box on entry. You're right. I mean, you're right. The number 1 would be the exit. The first pit road entry box, though. Harvick just got underneath Busch. Good job by Busch not getting into the 4. Oh, Kurt makes contact with Keselowski, and I thought Brad was going to spin there. That would have been a terrible caution for Kevin Harvick. Kurt short pitted too to try to get his lap back before the end of the stage. Because that pass that Harvick made on Kurt was for position. They were both a lap down because they both pitted early and had a caution come out. Now the worst thing that could happen here, a caution comes out again, we go 2 laps down. That would not be good. But this is our best chance to finish on the lead lap to the end of the stage. Really our only shot to finish on the lead lap to the end of the stage. Has to stay green. At least until after everybody cycles, at least, because that's what happened last time. We just didn't have everybody cycle on the pit road. There were a few cars that pitted, but most of the field still had to pit yet. Really, ever since Harvick hasn't been leading anymore, unaware exactly who is leading. Michael McDowell inside the top 10, up to 7th, having a good run. Byron in 8th. That was a pretty good look into the wall there. Harvick way out of the marbles. Or out of the groove and into the marbles. If we were out of the marbles, we would have been on the bottom of the track. We are a couple laps past the end of... I'll just end the poll at the end of stage 2 for you guys, because I don't want to have to pause it to end the poll. So I'll give you guys till the end of stage 2 to try to answer that trivia question. A little over 20 more laps yet. Or next caution, whatever happens first. And I'm really hoping it stays green. Reddick up to 4th. Justin Haley in 3rd. I think Truex and Bell might have pit already. Because they're in 11th to 12th. I would have to assume. Although, I don't know. Maybe they were a lap down also. And if that is the case, then that means they pitted right before the caution came out then. Oh, we're having the lights glitch a little early. Lap 164 on my end. Thank goodness I was on the back straightaway. Man, the lights are terrible on this game. The day racing looks a lot better than the night racing on this game. Look at how glowy the cars are so white. The sky's not even dark. I mean, it's been dark because it's been overcast. The lights aren't even on. We had the lights glitch, but the lights don't even look like they're on. Alright, so I was not prepared for that. I guess we had it in stage 2. I wasn't expecting it in stage 2. Wasn't expecting it at all coming into the race, but Joshua in the chat made me at least aware of the situation that it was going to happen. It happened, well, 13 laps earlier for me, but thank goodness I was on the back straightaway when that happened, because we probably would have wrecked. Ross Chastain is leading this race right now, trying to go for his 3rd win of the season. And all 3 of his wins are going to be in a, if I do my math correctly here, an 8-race stretch if he could somehow win today. Hot streak for Ross Chastain. Middle of the season. NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing, thanks for tuning in. Got the Logano Next Gen diecast. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't really ask for any diecast for Christmas. I probably could have, but I wanted to make sure I was going to get the right one, so I didn't want to. Kind of saved that for my race weekend excursions. Cautions might have bumped it up. That's possible. And we've got another caution. That means, well, Harvick, I don't think he caught Chastain yet. Wow, I cannot believe that. We're going to be 2 laps down. Gonna have to pit again, because everybody else could end up pitting right now. Caution's out again. We didn't have any cautions during the green flag stop in stage number 1, but now we've had it in stage 2 twice. And Harvick pitting for a 4th time at stage 2 now. That is unbelievable. Another caution. We can't catch a break in this one. And I think Harvick's going to be 2 laps down. He was in the same position. I think we're going to be 2 down. Green flag back in the air. "12 laps to go in the stage. This race has gone from good to bad for Kevin Harvick and nothing of his own doing. 2 scoring glitches have knocked him first 1 lap down and now a 2nd lap down. We're getting cars to pit, but they're not all pitting. Oh, we might have another yellow there with Bubba Wallace. I want that to happen. We stay green. Harvick making severe contact. He was 3 wide underneath the 23. Didn't have a lot of room for him. One car's holding up chain of cars on the outside. Probably Kurt Busch, because I would assume he didn't pit during the stage because he also short pitted with Harvick. So Harvick not going to get any stage points in stage 2. He's going to be 2 laps down at the end of the stage. Now we will pit during the stage break this time. The problem is we're only going to have like 12 lap pressure tires. It'll make a difference on this older concrete surface at Nashville, but there's no sets of tires that I'm limiting myself to in this game. Now with the game being broken. There's Kurt Busch holding up the outside. Byron's in 7th. Big block there by Chris Buescher. Harvick to the outside of Kurt Busch in the 45. Rolls around with Kurt's in 33rd. 34th now, so he's an extra lap even behind Harvick. I mean, maybe Harvick's only 1 down. I'm thinking he's 2 down, though. Gotta be 2 laps down, you would think. Definitely gonna pit during the stage break, though. That way we can go longer than everybody else, and we won't short pit when we start stage 3, and if we get a caution again, then you would think we'd be able to unlap ourselves at some point during the stage. Suarez up to 6th. Cutting Harvick's momentum off turn 4 as Suarez was clearing the 4. Slight bit of contact, he moved up a little early. I did move down on him too. Probably a little bit of my fault. Regine Huddleston, thanks for tuning in. So Harvick trying to come for 2 laps down. Man, if it wasn't for glitches, I have a 12.9 average finish coming into today's race. You would, and we're leading the regular season standings, and we've had bad finishes this season with scoring glitches and twice on the 2 road courses now because of the tires glitch when you pit under green, which you have to at some point in time. You can probably prolong it to the final stage, which we're definitely going to do going forward. Try to lap as many cars as we can in the first 2 stages. That would probably help us in that situation. Going forward also, a lot of contact with Garrett Smithley. From Harvick as they met door-to-door off the exit of turn 4 there. Harvick catching up to Ricky Stenhouse in 19th. I think we are 2 down. I think everybody from 16th on back is 2 laps down because Austin Dillon's at 15th. But the 18th place car, whoever it is ahead of him. So, yeah, Harvick going to be 2 laps down at the end of stage 2. Because of 2 separate scoring glitches tonight. We're going to pit during the stage break. Nobody else will. Oh, Kurt Busch might, but he's an extra lap even behind us. He's 3 laps down. And he was on a similar pit cycle than us, but we were able to get through the traffic a little bit quicker. And we were actually just past the start-finish line when that caution came out. We were very close to being a 3rd lap down. Well, we were off of turn 2. I guess we were extremely close. Right into the back of AJ Yaley. Yeah, we'll do the live race replays on Thursdays. Stage is going to end this time by. And yep, Harvick is 2 down. It is confirmed. I mean, it was pretty much confirmed when I was looking up at the scoreboard, but it is now most definitely confirmed. So despite finishing 2nd at stage 1 and leading at the start of stage 2 before making the first green flag stop, Kevin Harvick, after 2 scoring glitches, will be 2 laps down in 20th place at the end of the stage. Ross Chastain will go on to win stage 2. Alex Bowman will finish 2nd. Justin Haley 3rd. He might be able to pull off an upset. Michael McDowell 4th as well. Tyler Reddick 5th. Daniel Suarez 6th. A lot of drivers without wins. In fact, everybody from 2nd through 6th without a win this season. William Byron ends up 7th. So we still outscored Byron by 4 in the stage points total today, which is good, which means we'll be 29 points ahead of him into the final stage. Logano ends up 8th, Denny Hamlin 9th, and Christopher Bell will round out the top 10 in the stage. Wow, Kyle Busch, he was 3rd. He's in 17th now, and it was looking good for him at the start of the race and trying to build that gap up over Eric Almirola. And now they're only 1 position ahead, or apart from one another. Crazy. Got the screenshot. We'll pit during the stage break, and then we'll hope for the best in the final stage. And we're going to have to be extra aggressive. Which doesn't typically work in this game, but we're going to have to be extra aggressive here. Alright, so we're going to end the poll. 50% of you said Kyle Busch led the most laps in last year's race at Nashville. And then 36% said Chase Elliott, 14% said Martin Truex Jr., 0% said Denny Hamlin. And we have 14 votes there total. I'll pause it for a quick second. The answer to that trivia question was Denny Hamlin. Nobody got it. I am shocked that nobody had it. Denny Hamlin led 114 laps at Nashville last year. It was the most laps led. Kyle Busch, who was the highest voted, was the 3rd highest of those 4. He led 54 laps. Martin Truex Jr. led 82 laps, who was 2nd highest. And then Chase Elliott, he was actually last of those 4 drivers with 42 laps led. Chase Elliott did win the race. Truex won the first 2 stages of the race en route to leading his laps. But yeah, Denny Hamlin, despite leading 114 laps He finished 6th, and he also did not win any of the stages. He was 2nd, though, in both of them. So he was up towards the front for a lot of that race. But Denny Hamlin was the answer. Nobody got it. And literally 0% voted for Denny Hamlin. I can understand why. He was worst of those drivers during the regular season last year, just off of consistency. So I can probably understand why you guys went with that answer. A green flag is in the air. Final stage is underway. Kurt Busch pitted during the stage break with Kevin Harvick. You can tell because he cycled out behind him, but Harvick's got to go. Got the freshest tires in the field. He's 2 laps down. Kurt Busch is 3 laps down. They got to make up as many laps as they can here. Being at the very back of the pack is not going to be easy. Can't cause any cautions. Harvick clipped the apron going into 1. Washed up the track a little bit. Just got to the bottom right in front of Josh Bilicki. That was close. The apron a little bit again. Getting into the corner. Harvick up the middle. Almost got turned by Smithley. Man. I'm definitely charging it late into the corner. They're turning down because I'm not there yet. That didn't work out very well. I don't know how I didn't hit anybody. Wow. I could have just turned myself off of Chris Buescher's front bumper. Thank goodness I didn't. Now I'm stuck on the outside into 3 and 4 this time. Got to run. Big dive to the bottom. Buescher about got squeezed in the wall by Yaley. Gillen makes contact with Truex. They slow each other up for Harvick to pass Bolt 3 wide to the inside. Truex at 16th. Remember, he was 47 points behind Harvick coming into the race today. The regular season standings as well. Harvick going to go up the middle, 3 wide between LaJoie and Stenhouse. That was a close call. Mentioned that Harvick had to be aggressive. Yeah, he completely doors Eric Jones. Got to be careful making contact like that, though, because if we get a caution, we're going to get trapped another lap down again, and we're already 2 down. If we cause the accident, we can't pit during the yellow either. Harvick on the inside of Austin Dillon. Out into Allmendinger. Oh, and Hamlin is going to go around right off the front of Kevin Harvick. I think Allmendinger got clipped as he came back across the racetrack, and the caution flag is out again at Nashville. Harvick not going to get trapped a lap down, though, because the leaders were not across the start-finish line when that wreck took place. Harvick going to have to go to the very tail end of the pack once again for causing that accident. Come on, get around me, get around me, get around me! Jesus. My goodness. Yeah, this race has just not gone good for Kevin Harvick all of a sudden. It was our first caution of the final stage today. And our 7th caution of the race total. You can see when he's got clean air, he's able to make some passes. The car sticks pretty well. I mean, he was holding on to the lead when he was leading earlier. Nobody could pass him. Whether he was able to pull away or not. Luke Loader, thanks for tuning in. I hit the back of Cody Ware, and car pushed right up into Balicki after the fact. Thanks, Cody. That all the way down. He had such a wide arc into the corner. I went underneath him, and then once I got there, then he started hitting me. I didn't think he was going to keep turning after he hit me, too. Try going to the outside. That worked. That time. Shot Hamlin right across Cindric's bumper, and Hamlin's going around. Harvick trying to get to the start-finish line before a caution, and he just couldn't do it. Oh my gosh. We were so close. Now we're 3 laps down. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, we were so close. Oh, I knew that caution was going to come out because they were piling up back there. Just another, like, half a second. That's all I needed. I don't think I got there. Now I'm 3 down. Rest in peace to me. F in the chat for me. I hit Hamlin in the middle of 3 at 4, so he washed up in front of Cindric. And when he did that, he barely clipped Cindric's bumper, and then that's what turned him around. I think the 2 ended up losing control also. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're not quite at the start-finish line. It is so close, but I'm pitting. I don't care. I'm 3 laps down because of this game. I caused that caution, but I shouldn't lose a lap because of it. I'm not punishing myself any more than what I would have for causing an accident because I already lost a lap. If I didn't lose a lap, I would have gone to the rear of the field again, but I lost a lap. That's my punishment. We got a couple other cars on pit road. I'm going to hope none of them are on the lead lap. Smithley pit. I don't think anybody was on the lead lap that pit. Green flag back in the air. Well, 92 laps to go at Nashville. After our 8th caution of the race. So Harvick 3 laps down in this race now. Cody Ware crowds Kevin Hart. That's the 2nd time he's done that. At least he didn't wreck. I know, we would have still been 2 down.
Rewire, you're up top. Got one left. Clear, clear, clear.
Wouldn't have to worry about that if this game wasn't glitchy like that.
Rewire, you're
We didn't have this scoring error to begin with.
clear, clear, clear. Rewire, you're up top. Got one left.
Truex sliding way up.
Keep it high. All right, hold your line.
Off turn 4. Harvick
Still there.
trying to hold his lane as much as he can.
Clear. 2 inside. Here's the rewire.
Barely keeping it off the wall in the front stretch, trying to carry his momentum
Got one left. Stay high. All clear.
to the middle.
Stay right.
Between Busch and Jones. Dow holding everybody up into 1. I had to go down the apron just to miss Reddick. Again, Harvick in 20. I mean, we're not losing positions every time we're losing a lap, but we're losing more laps, which is costing us a chance to gain any more positions. Squeezing right around the bottom that time as he clears Almirola and McDowell.
Got one right. Clear, clear.
Harvick about to be 2 laps down.
All clear.
Ross Chastain's still leading right now after winning stage 2. Racking up some playoff points here middle of the season. Harvick to the outside of Logano. Blow by him, clear him off turn 2. For that last caution, Harvick was 2 down, but now he's 3. We'll get a lap back here, and then if everybody could cycle through pit stops, he'll get another lap back. The problem is we haven't cycled through green flag pit stops since stage 1. We've had 2 green flag stops since then. We're going to have a 3rd fairly soon. Harvick's got a massive run. Chastain came up as Harvick went down. Harvick is 2 laps down now. Justin Haley in 3rd. You never know how these green flag stops will cycle out. And depending on when the field pits, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to have to pit 1 or 2 more times. I'm thinking they're going to have to pit twice yet before the end. Harvick can make it on 1 stop. So that could make up another lap. But the problem is we're not 2 down anymore, we're 3 down. So we'd still be 1 lap down. Unless we were able to make up so much time here. I don't have any faith that we're going to cycle through green flag pit stops, and we might end up staying 3 laps down if we're not ahead of the start-finish line when the caution comes out. We have to really build this gap on Chastain with this clean air as much as we possibly can. Already a little over 4 seconds ahead of the 1. About 30-second laps, roughly. 30.713 is my fastest. 30.759 that most recent lap, which was one of my fastest. Should be a pretty decent lap, too. We have 10 laps on these tires. We're still running lap times that quick. I think it's because I have clean air now. I don't think I've had clean air on fresh tires today. So that's probably why we're running some of our fastest laps of the race. Anytime I've had clean air, I've had older tires. $20 likes on the stream. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as well. We have a little bit less than 100 laps to go tonight at Nashville on NASCAR 22. Kevin Harvick, second at the end of stage 1, 20th at the end of stage 2. Is 2 laps down because of 2 scoring glitches in stage 2. Another scoring glitch in the beginning of stage 3 has now trapped him 3 laps down. He is actually 2 down now because he made up a lap on the restart. He pitted for fresh tires. The problem is we need this to stay green until everybody cycles out. The best case scenario, everybody cycles through pit stops, then we get a caution. And if we're at the other side of the start-finish line, there's a chance we can get back to 1 lap down, get back on equal tires, and from then on, we just kind of hope for the best. We can pit, we'll have equal tires with everybody else. We'll try to make up 1 lap on the field any way we can. Everybody will likely have to pit another time after the next pit stop. I don't think anybody's gone more than 60 laps on fuel today. So if they pit at lap 55 or past that, then they will definitely have to pit they will not have to pit again. They may be able to make it or just 1 more stop in this race. But if they don't get to lap 55, so we're only on lap 38 right now. They're in this stage specifically, there's no chance they're going to make it to the end. Of all the glitches in this race today, it's really only been the scoring glitches that have cost us. We've seen some good racing. It just goes to show that when we get a lot of cautions on these ovals, you saw Gateway, we benefited from it. We swept the stages, won the race, and that's because I qualified, towards the front of the field. And then on top of that, we were able to be in the lead when those cautions were coming out. Or at least on the other side of the start-finish line where other guys were getting trapped a lap down and not us because we were close enough to the front of the field. But today, as soon as stage 1, we were fine. But stage 2 was where we ran into the issue because we pitted a little bit earlier than everybody else. Therefore, we went a lap down. And even though I got my lap back before the caution came out, it didn't matter. This is the scoring glitch. A couple cars making contact off turn 2, and even Balicki and Custer got together too. I was looking further up ahead where they were making contact. Saw a couple cars pit that last lap, so there is hope. Those guys will have to pit again. They're stacking up off the exit of turn 4. Busher almost spun out right in front of Denny Hamlin. William Byron leads. This would be terrible if the caution came out now because Byron's leading this race. That's not who we need to win for the regular season championship side of things. Harvick to 16th. Burton coming out of the pits. Had quite a few cars pitting right now, but we are still green. I mean, we cycled through it once earlier today, so it's not impossible that we could cycle through it again. Gotta get past the start-finish line. Okay, we did. I think we're only going to be 1 lap down. There's Bell. He is in 10th. So Harvick has rallied back inside the top 10. He is 1 lap down, and I believe he is also the first car 1 lap down. No free pass awarded in this game, but when there's a will, there's a way. Now we need a caution. We need one bad. Byron in 6th. Bell, fresher tires than Harvick now. He's closing in fast. That's the problem, is Harvick's going to start to go backwards on his older tires. So even though he's rallied back inside the top 10, it's going to be for the short term. Try to run this out just a little bit longer. Harvick back to 11th. Burton on the inside of Harvick.
Clear.
There goes Byron. Harvick almost into the wall, had to lift off turn 4 right in front of Eric Jones. If there was a way to cause a caution without actually wrecking somebody, that would be the best way to do it. I don't know how I would try to get myself in that kind of a predicament, though. Skill coming out of the pits. Harvick dove to the bottom early, thinking he might have had a shot to get underneath and quite do it.
One left. Low.
Jones looking low.
Still there. Clear all around. Stay right. All clear.
And Greg Biffle going to get by as well. I mean, we've gained 9 positions. We're still going backwards this point in the run, but my gosh. On old tires, I'm still hitting the back of guys on front. I mean, Biffle's in last, though, so that's probably why I got into him still. Kyle Larson's in 12th. He's a few seconds still behind Harvick, but just give him a few more laps and he'll probably get to the 4. He's got a couple lap cars between him, though. I guess it depends on how quickly he can get by Ty Dillon. Busch, next car in line. Behind Harvick after a great start to the day, finishing 3rd in Stage 1, qualified inside the top 10. Definitely fell back. Kurt Busch won Stage 1 in this race, and I think he might end up finishing outside the top 20. Be lucky to get back inside the top 20 because he was an extra lap behind Harvick. Although he might have been 3 laps down to the restart too because he was 3 earlier. I don't know if he was behind us or ahead of us when that last caution came out. We cycled through green flag pit stops there. Can we do it again? Because if we do it again, Harvick stays out just long enough. He can try to make up a little bit of time on fresher tires again. But when do you pit for that? First of all, you have to be within the fuel window to make it to the end of the race, because everybody else is going to have to pit, and they're going to pit very close to the finish. So Harvick's losing time now, but he doesn't want to lose too much time.
One left. Clear all around.
We went about 52, 53 laps earlier. I think I've got to make it to probably just a few laps after lap 60 before I have to pit again. We have to pit as soon as that window opens up. We have about 65 laps to go from where Harvick's at right now. Goes Larson.
All clear.
And not going to make any adjustments when we do come into the pits. We're just going to have to run it all the way to the checker. Hope for the best. Not from now, but after we make our final stop. Just hope we stay green. That's going to be the best thing for us. I think we can get a top 10 at least. We can beat Bell. if we stay green to the end. We're just lucky that we're only going to have to pit once on the stage. They're going to have to pit twice because I pitted during the stage break. So that's where the big advantage is going to come into play. I'm still going to end up having to make up like 2 laps on the fresher tires the next time. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that to win. Harvick's still sitting in 12th. Not even really sure who would be in 13th to try to overtake it for position. Maybe Tyler Reddick. Although I think Reddick might be on the lead lap. On the outside all the way through 3 or 4. Yeah, Reddick's in 7th. He is on the lead lap. We're almost a full lap behind the 8. I mean, I feel I can make up a full lap on him, pitting when I do. Problem is, he's going to pull quite a ways ahead of us. I just don't think we're going to get all the way back to the leaders from where we're at right now. For position, at least. I do think, unless we get a timely yellow, I mean, maybe I can get back on the lead lap and then we get a late caution. I mean, we had a caution with 5 laps to go at Charlotte in a similar situation. So, I mean, I could see a possibility where that could happen again. I just got to be on the right side of the caution instead of the wrong side. I was on the wrong side before. Hopefully, we make up enough time. I'll be on the right side of it. So we'll be pitting well early than what we did at Charlotte. I didn't pit till about 17 to go there. We're going to be pitting with a little over 50 to go yet in this one. Gillen just drove right in the side of Harvick there. Really upset Harvick's car in the middle of the corner. No adjustments on the pit stop coming up for Harvick here very soon. Gonna run it out about 3 or 4 more laps and Harvick's gonna pit. Give me Wachitos, thanks for tuning in. I mean, Harvick's almost running this entire fuel run out just to try to make it on one stop in this final stage. Everybody else on 2-stopper. Bite the bullet for right now, but it's really the only time he's going to have to bite it till the very end of the race. They're going to all pit with less than 20 laps to go. Whether it would be under green or under caution, they're definitely going to have to pit again. Harvick can make it on one stop. He'll pit again if we do get another yellow, but if we do not get a caution, definitely plans on not pitting again, which is why he's trying to take this run as far as he can.
One lap,
55 laps to go for Harvick at the line this time. Cody Ware has just passed him. Somewhat kept up with Ware through 1 and 2. Train of cars still behind Harvick.
got one right. All clear. Got one right.
Huster got a little loose off turn 4. Harvick kept it off of him.
Getting in about 5 laps.
Gonna stay out this time by, and I'm gonna pit the following time by.
Clear, clear.
We got a little tight when he downshifted that time. 25 of Allmendinger right behind him. So Harvick will stay out of the pits this time. He'll pit the following lap.
Got one right. Clear, 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 clear.
Maybe riding the brakes a little bit. Something you really want to do on an intermediate, but he did there.
Clear, clear, clear. Got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Got up into the wall off turn 4. All tires are up. On the race car, Harvick will be pitting this time by. Have to make sure he's going to be able to be down on the bottom of the racetrack. Goes up to block Allmendinger just a little bit more. Going to use the excess road coming into the pits this time. Try to carry more speed on it than what I did the last time I used it. Oh, don't loop it, don't loop it, don't... Yeah, the car was skating out from underneath me. I thought I was going to loop it there for a second. I didn't. 4 tires and fuel for Harvick, and he's on pit road. That was definitely better than the very first pit road entry. I think I might have gained a little bit of time there. Oh, boy. Final stop. And now we just got to hope it stays green to the end, and I think we can get a top 10 if it does. I don't think I'm going to win the race, but I think we can get a top 10. It has to stay green, though, because if it doesn't, then we're just going to finish wherever we cycle out here. Because we'll be a couple laps down. I'm going to guess we'll be 2 down. Try to get 1 lap back here before everybody pits, which I think should be doable. We'll have about 27, 28 lap fresher tires than everybody else, so I do think we can make up a little bit of time here. Yeah, there goes Logano, so... Actually, we might be 3 down again. Yeah, we might be 3 down as of right now. Because I think we'll be 2 laps behind Bell. Well, Bell passed us. We were on the same lap. Then I think he was far enough ahead of us, though, because he passed us pretty early in the run. I don't know. I think we're 3 down as of right now, so we really need this to stay green. We're basically right back where we were, oh, geez, at the start of the stage as I clipped the apron going into 1. Wanted to make sure I was going to clear the 20. I definitely cleared him. Yeah, if I would have spun, that would have been terrible. It felt like it was skating out. I don't know if you guys really saw much there, but it just felt like it was skating when I was on the apron. Chase Elliott up to 9th. Really gone back and forth a lot in this race. You can tell the 27 and 28 lap fresher tires, how much of a difference they are as Harvick quickly closed on Logano. He's going to have fresher tires for a lot longer a time than what he did at the very start of the race. So I do think there's a chance he can get back on the lead lap. The only thing is, sure, he gets back on the lead lap, but depending on how many laps are left when the rest of the field pits, which I'm going to guess we're probably going to have anywhere between 10 to 15 laps to go. I'm hoping for less, but I'm thinking that that's where we're going to be at. I do think they're going to end up lapping me before the end, because they're going to have much fresher tires the next time around than what they even had there. I mean, they're probably going to have 30 to 40 lap fresher tires. That's why we're going to need a caution as soon as everybody cycles through, but that might be asking for a lot. Again, we need everybody to cycle, that's the thing. Harvick is in 20th. There's Chastain. Logano's only a couple seconds behind him. I think it was a bigger lead the last time we saw the one to Chastain. So Logano closed with the green flag pit stops. Can Ross Chastain hold on to win at Nashville to pick up his 3rd win of the season? He already won a stage today. It'll be a 6th playoff point night for him. Still have 9 races to go in the regular season standings. He's not any sort of a spot to win the regular season title, but playoff points are awarded for everybody in the top 10 at the end of the regular season. So there's definitely a good shot he can get in the top 10. And his consistency, this is going to be 3 wins in an 8-race stretch for him. Ever since we got to Talladega, he has been one of the hottest drivers on this season. Harvick out of the gas for a long time in 3 and 4 there as he was stuck behind Gralo, who ended up getting loose off turn 4. And even Chastain's teammate Daniel Suarez has had a good night after starting deep in the field, as Suarez is back in 8th. to the inside of the 99.
All clear. 2 on the outside. You're 3.
3 wide under Hamlin and Ware. I don't know if there was contact between those two cars back there. There might have been. Harvick's up to 17th. Austin Dillon in 13th, probably a lap ahead of him. Truex lap ahead in 12th. Truex getting loose off of turn 2. Harvick with a major run. A little bit of a block there by Custer. Harvick still got underneath him, got around him. Well, we'll catch back up to Reddick. If we can make up, that's the big thing here. If I can get to 1 lap down before they all pit, and they take it to closer to 10 to go before they pit if we stay green to the end, maybe we do have a shot to pull off a comeback. Because we're definitely passing cars a lot better now than what we were. And they're more spaced out now. That's the reason. Because on the restart, they were all bunched together, so I couldn't go this fast when I was passing everybody because I was going to just wreck the field. And you saw that's what happened the first time. And Hamlin had spun into Cindric. But now they're more spaced out, so maybe the likelihood of a caution is going to be a lot less. Which is why we only had 1 yellow in stage 1 for incident. Versus stage 2, we had 3, and then we had 1 at the beginning of this stage.
Got 1 right.
7th place car of Reddick right there. That's big for Harvick. So now he's only 1 lap behind the 8. I think I'll get back on the lead lap. I just don't know about winning. We didn't cycle out too far behind the top 5.
Clear all around.
We were in 10th when we cycled out the first time. I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Can't make any mistakes, and Harvick hasn't made any since he came out of the pits.
All clear.
And he is pushing harder now than what he ever has. It's working out for him, though. Running some good laps. Backed it up quite a bit in the middle of the corner that time. Really, Diamond cut the corner off, similar to what he was doing all the way back in stage 1. And it worked well for him there because he finished 2nd in the stage. Kyle Busch for position 16th up ahead. And Kyle hasn't even pit yet, so he's going to cycle out well over a lap behind Harvick. I don't care about the tires anymore. We got to run qualifying laps the rest of this race. Tires are not, I mean, I'm not going to be quick at the very end of the race, but I need to make up as much time as I can on these guys now. Try to build up a gap, and maybe I get lucky and we get a right caution at the right time. Going to the outside of Kyle Busch. Should have him cleared into turns 1 and 2. Really pushed it deep that time into the corner. Still got it to stick, though. And we just passed Busch. We're already a second ahead of him. Passed him about a half a lap ago. We're probably 2 seconds faster a lap. And there's Larson, who we cycled in front of the first time. And we're about to be on the lead lap to him once we pass him. We're definitely going to cycle in front of him again. I mean, when we came out of the pits, we were right behind Christopher Bell in 10th. He was the first car in front of us. And I see Bell up there, if I'm not mistaken. I think I see his DeWalt car up there in this group of 6 cars. So we made up a full lap versus where we were. I mean, even Logano in 2nd wasn't that far in front of us. That might actually be McDowell up there. Yeah, it's McDowell. Never mind. But we had to have made up 3/4 of a lap on those guys already. Just absolutely using and abusing these tires to perfection, at least. Still over 2/3 of a run left. We're definitely going to be pushing on fuel. Yeah, we pitted about as soon as I thought we could make it to the end, which was 53 laps. If I remember correctly, that's how far I went at the very start of the race, and we didn't have a caution up to that point, so I'm hoping we can make it that far. Up to 15th, by the way. So Harvick has cracked the top 15. Haley was in 3rd. He just passed him. And Bell is about 4 seconds ahead of Harvick, but Harvick's a couple seconds a lap quicker, so 2 or 3 laps will catch Bell. These guys just have to stay out for a long time. That's the big thing. They just have to stay out of the pits for a really long time before they pit. On top of it staying green. Big run. I got back in the gas as soon as I could, just hoping I wouldn't clip the 78. I just got to the outside of him. Man, Elliott's in 9th right there, too. Bell just passed Elliott for position. I didn't even realize Elliott was on the same lap. It's Christopher Bell. Logano is right in front of both of them, and I think Bell might have just passed the 22. Harvick lifted a little bit off turn 4 to keep it off the wall. Logano wasn't that far behind Chastain earlier. There's a lot of cars up there still. I think Chastain might be... I mean, that's another thing I didn't really factor in, is how well the leaders could get through the lap traffic. Harvick turns down. Well, contact to look like between Elliott and Logano. Bell trying to block Harvick. He may be racing him for position later on. Keeping it low off turn 4. Didn't want to get to the outside that time. This will mean the bottom will be wide open. Chastain's widened his gap out on Logano, who's definitely struggling in lap traffic. As we just saw, similar move Harvick makes on Bilicki is what he did to McLeod a couple laps ago in 1 or 2, and again it works. .21.9 fast. Yeah, an IndyCar maybe. Not in NASCAR. 30.713 is our fastest lap of the race. Chastain's the next car in front of Harvick. Harvick going to go to the top. Immediately into the corner. All the lap cars holding Chastain up. Keep holding them up. Now we're on the same lap as Suarez in 8th as we clear him on the backstretch. We're only a lap down. We're a lap down on the leader right now. They still have to pit. So we're definitely going to be back on the lead lap. Just keep staying out. That's all I ask. Just stay out as long as they can. Never say never. This might be my biggest comeback of all time if we somehow won this race. From 3 laps down. Somebody just dive bombed turn 3 trying to make a pass. I couldn't tell who that was. I thought they might have been coming into the pits because of how low they were into the corner, but that wasn't the case. Yeah, we don't need a caution now. We need to wait for everybody to pit first. I'll end up making up a couple laps, but not all 3. At least 1, maybe 2. Somebody else going really low into the corner again. Harvick closes on Dillon. He's going to go to the outside of Austin. 3 and 4. Feathers the throttle. Probably could have given it a little bit more gas off the exit corner. Didn't feed all the way up to the wall. Pretty close to it, but not all the way. Massive dive. Chopped the apron off a little bit so he couldn't get back to the gas as soon as he wanted when he tried to get to the outside of Biffles. He's zigzagging through cars right now. Truex is 4th position up here in 12th. And remember, Harvick was in 12th when he pitted. And he's almost back to 12th and he hasn't even pit, or the rest of the field hasn't pit yet. So he's almost right back to where he was. I mean, theoretically, and I'm not going to do this, but if I were to pit the same time as everybody else, I'd still end up likely finishing in 12th. If we pitted right away, at least, but... There's Truex. Harvick blows by him into 3 and 4. And Kevin Harvick is back into 12th place at 1 lap down, which is where he was before he made his first stop of the stage. And his only stop of the stage, assuming he can make it on field to the end. Still about a half a tank of gas left. Just over 20 to go. I think he's pacing well enough to be able to make it. Got 25 laps to go at the line this time by. I was expecting them to pit between 10 and 15 laps to go. So if that is the case, they're still a little over 10 laps away from seeing anybody pit. Or at least any of the lead lap cars pit. Oh, Harvick should have went to the top on Reddick there. He checked up a little extra in the middle of the corner. Just squeezes underneath Reddick. It clears the 7th place car off turn 2. Now we're on the same lap as Reddick. Harvick with a run off turn 4. Just got to the inside of the 2311 Toyotas of Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace. In a single file manner, just underneath the 2. Big dive into 1. Wanted to get by Harrison Burton. He did. It just keeps the 21 car behind him by a few car lengths still off the exit of the corner. Barely made that work. You're just tuning in for the first time. Scoring glitches have caused Kevin Harvick to go 3 laps down in this final stage at one point with less than 80 laps to go. Harvick on a 1-stop versus 2-stop strategy on everybody else. He's trying to make up all 3 laps. He pitted during the stage break, which he got a lap back before everybody pitted for their first green flag stop of the stage. Harvick was then very slow for about 20 to 25 laps before pitting. Probably 27, 28 laps at the most. Fresher tires than the rest of the field right now. He's got back to 1 lap down, and the rest of the field still has to pit one more time. So that's why he's still passing cars, because he still has the freshest tires of anybody on the track, even though he pitted a little over 30 laps ago from now. Haley in 11th. He was in 3rd. I'm thinking he might have pitted already. Might have, yep, Kyle Busch is in. So we are seeing a couple of the leaders pit all of a sudden. Now we need to stay green. Not to the end of the race because we have a little less than 20 to go, but at least until everybody on the lead lap pits. For Harvick to get all the way back on the lead lap. Then if a caution comes out, he'll pit. And we'll go from there. And we'll see if he can win the race. Even that's going to be very difficult, but there's a will, there's a way, and at least he would have a chance. Because if it stays green all the way to the end, they're going to end up blowing right around him for these final little less than 20 laps again. Harvick closing in big time on the 14. Briscoe blocking. Oh, no! He just put Harvick in the wall. That's going to cost him a lot of time. He just kept moving up, and I didn't know if he was going to keep moving up or not, and he did. Harvick gets by the 14 that time.
Clear, clear.
Here's Larson. He's a full lap behind Harvick. Yeah, that is a teammate. All drivers to do that. Other cars coming in. McDowell got held up. That's another spot. McDowell already pitted, I believe, as well. So he's probably going to end up blowing by Harvick eventually anyway. You would think. There's Logano just coming out of the pits up ahead. A pull in line right behind Haley. Kyle Busch is back inside the top 5 for now. But he's going to need a caution before the end if he wants a shot to win. I think he's still going to finish in the top 10. Justin Haley to the lead at Nashville. He is cycled ahead of Ross Chastain and Joey Logano, and Justin Haley trying to get his first career NASCAR Cup Series win that would lock him into the playoffs. Logano not that far behind him. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick is up to third, but he has older tires, so he's not going to be able to run down the top two. But just to come from 3 laps down to where he's running right now is insane. We still have 14 laps to go. And he's just trying to hold everybody up to the end. The car's still handling pretty well. As much as I was burning the tires off at this point in the run. And he's got a clean air advantage on these guys. Will they wreck each other trying to get by the 4? Bowman would also be for position. He passes the 34. He's trying to get to the leaders if they catch enough lap traffic. Busch gets by. That was not for position. Bowman and McDowell still stuck behind Harvick. Larson's up to 12th. He's a full lap behind the 4. Three wide middle as Harvick and McDowell split Harvick. Bowman gets by as well. Byron, who was battling Harvick for the regular season championship, came in 25 points behind him. Harvick outscored him by 4 stage points today, 9-5. But Byron going to get by Harvick off turn 4 for 5th. I don't think we're going to get a caution before the end of this race. I feel like if we would have had a yellow, it would have came out already. I'm hoping I'm wrong. If a caution comes out, though, we have to be on the same side of the start-finish line as the leaders. Otherwise, we're going to end up going a lap down. We've had quite a few overtime finishes, like 5 or 6 overtime finishes this year, so it's not impossible that we do get a late yellow as we have just 11 laps to go in this race. Make that 13 to go still. Harvick in 6th. Put himself in the right spot. This is as good as he could have been from 3 laps down. Trying to hold the bottom as much as I can. Harrison Burke will get to the outside of the 4. Down to 11 laps to go. Haley winning would bump Kyle Busch out for right now, yes. Unless Busch passes one of those guys ahead of him in points today, but I don't think that's going to be possible considering he got stuck a lap down in stage 2 at that caution. He had a potential to win this race today. I don't think he had race-winning speed, but I mean, he was 3rd at the end of stage 1. You never would have known how this could have worked out. Chastain fell all the way back to 7th. He was leading going into that final set of pit stops, and now he's all the way back at 7th. He's going to pass Harvick here through 3 and 4 for a spot. Truex almost into the wall off of turn number 4. Harvick's still in 7th. Reddick is the next car behind him. It would be for position. Once he gets by, Harvick will not be able to hold him off. I'll be more worried about really trying to block these guys as we get just a couple laps out from the finish, but knowing how much slower he is than everybody else on about 30-lap old tires. Here comes Reddick down to the bottom. Harvick will block him anyway into 3. Mainly just because he wanted to stay on the bottom into the corner so less cars would pass him, but ended up having to go to the top anyways. He sailed it off a little too deep, trying to make that late block. He's back to 8th. Like I said, I still think we can get a top 10. 8 laps to go. Seven to go. Where's the caution? Downshifted twice, just trying to get the car to turn in the middle of the corner. Even in 1 and 2, which is my best area of the racetrack. Bell is in 9th. He is back on the lead lap. And he's one of the 3 cars right behind Harvick. Unless he's a full lap behind us, which I don't think is the case. There's no way he's a full lap behind us. We'll find out once he passes us. Because he will get around us. We still have 5 to go this time by. Justin Haley outside the top 16 in points, trying to get a win. Logano was just behind him coming out of the pits, so Chastain, who was the leader leading into those green flag pit stops, not the leader anymore. Bell still stuck behind Harvick. I mean, there's only 5 to go. Harvick has to stay in front of Bell as long as he can. A couple of the lap cars got by, but Bell's still struggling to do so. Daniel Suarez is up to 10th. He's a few seconds behind the 4 and the 20. These guys might be a full lap behind Harvick, but no guarantees there. They are all on the lead lap. Harvick got a little tight in the middle of the corner that time. Downshifted to 3rd, trying to really catch the car, mainly just to stay on the bottom in front of Bell, and again he does it. Biffle at 39th, coming up with a head of steam behind the 20. Bell looking to the outside. Harvick up to block up the exit of turn 4, and he just did so, and here comes Suarez now to the inside. And Elliott in 11th is there also. Big battle for 8th going on right now. Harvick sailed it too deep. Suarez gets by. Elliott gets by. Bell still stuck behind. Here comes Logano. He's the leader. So he did get by Justin Haley. Harvick holding up Bell. Logano's going to lap him. But that means this next lap will be the final lap of the race. So it was actually good. Logano passed the 20 and the 4 for that reason. It's one less lap that Harvick has to hold off Bell. Trying to get a top 10. Oh man, we're trying. Into 3 and 4, final time. Joey Logano will win at Nashville. He'll pick up his 2nd win of the year. Harvick trying to hold off Christopher Bell to the checker. Big block up turn 4. They both got into the wall. Bell gets back into Harvick, and Harvick will hold on to finish in 10th. A top 10 today from 3 laps down to 1 lap down at the checker. And Joey Logano is going to get the win by 8 seconds over Justin Haley. William Byron passed a bunch of cars late to finish, just 1/10 of a second behind Haley in 3rd. Alex Bowman 4th, and Michael McDowell from Front Row Motorsports will round out the top 5 and 5th. Ross Chastain is 6th, Tyler Reddick in 7th, Daniel Suarez 8th, Chase Elliott 9th, and Kevin Harvick barely holds on for a top 10 finish today. After being 3 laps down, for us to strategize our way, we stayed green pretty much all the way through stage 3. For the most part, which helped us. Final 2 green flag stops, we stayed caution-free. And that allowed for us to get a top 10. We went on a one-stop strategy. We were running in 12th before that. So us getting to 10th place, if we would have went with a two-stop strategy also, we probably would have finished 12th. So we did get 2 spots out of it. And it's a good thing Logano passed us, too, because Bell probably would have gotten around us into 1 because he got on our inside coming across the line. So if Logano didn't lap us there coming to the white flag, then we probably wouldn't have finished ahead of Bell. But, hey, that was a good enough top 10 finish. I'll take it. We did lose points to Byron today. Not many. We were 25 ahead coming in. We would have outscored him by 4 in the stages, but then he outscored us by 7. Yeah, 7 in the race. So that means, if I do my math correctly, he will have gained 3 points. So now we are just 22 points ahead of Byron for the regular season points lead with 9 races to go. We go into a road course at Road America tomorrow. We have to capitalize on the stages because we are not going to be that good when we make that green flag stop in the final stage, unfortunately. So we'll hope for the best, and we'll just kind of worry about it when tomorrow comes. Thanks for everybody. Oh, we'll go through the full finishing results here for a little bit, and then we'll end the stream. Get rid of my face here for a quick second so I can take the screenshots of the finishing order. So nobody DNF, but Chris Buescher did finish, or Chase Briscoe rather, did finish well off the pace. I mean, he finished behind Biffle. I don't know what happened to him. He was definitely struggling with his car late. He was all the way up near the wall. He crowded me into the wall, which might have actually costed me a couple spots there late. I forgot that happened on that final run. Because I didn't get passed by Elliott and Suarez until lap and a half to go, considering Logano got around us. But 9 cars finished on the lead lap today. That's going to wrap it up now. Thanks for everybody tuning in tonight. Appreciate your support as always. Road to, I guess, 5,000 subs right now is what we're, well, 4,000. We'll take it one step at a time. I think we'll get there when the season starts back up again. We'll have a lot of Daytona content on the channel and Speed Weeks comes around. Definitely a slow part of the year. The channel hasn't been, necessarily growing over the off-season month and a half that we've been on so far. But I do appreciate you guys sticking around that are familiar with the channel. And, of course, until tomorrow night, I'll see you guys. We'll be racing Road America tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NASCAR 22 once again. And we'll try to do the unthinkable, which is win a road course on this game, which is going to be difficult, knowing we'll have to make a green flag stop. I'm hoping I don't have to make a green flag stop at all in the first couple stages. I know stage 1 I won't have to. Maybe I'll have to in stage 2. I'm just hoping I don't. We'll just have to wait and see. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good rest of your Monday night. And again, Merry Christmas to everybody who may have missed the greetings otherwise this weekend. Hopefully you had a good holiday. And going into the new year, of course, this coming weekend.